What if I told you cutting her off is punishment you think it is? You think going no contact will shatter her thought. The silence will echo through her chest and break her down, but here's the hard truth. Most women expect it. They've seen it. They've even prepared for it. No contact might stop the noise, but it doesn't destroy the ego. It doesn't flip power dynamic. It doesn't make hair grot. You're here because you were a loyal. You were Alan. You gave her your trust, your time, your energy, and when she walked away, she didn't just leave you lonely. She left you questioning your worth. That's not a wound. That's an awakening. This video isn't about petty revenge. It's not about begging her back. It's about becoming the man whose alliance isn't just the absence of words, but the presence of power. We're going deeper than no contact. We're rewiring your mind, rebuilding your frame, and awakening the force inside. That makes her wish she'll never let go. This is Stoic Blessing, and today we show you how to crush her ego without ever lifting a finger. If you're done being haunted by her memory, if you're ready to crush the ego that crushed you, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise from rejection. Oh, let's go deeper. Number 1, burn the one. Burn the illusion. You're not grieving her. You're grieving the idea of her, the fantasy you created, the version of her that only ever lived in your mind, the woman who saw the right things, touched your soul, maybe even promised forever. That woman was a projection, a mask built out of your loyalty, your hope, your need to live. Someone could finally see Ewan never let go. But what did she actually do? Did she walk away without explanation? Did she breadcrumb you playth? Aim victim run to another? Man, while you were still bleeding, that's not love. That's not loyalty, that's ego. And every time you replay old messages or cling tomeries where she seemed differentier, feeding that illusion you're keeping her elevated in a place she no longer deserves. This is the first strike in crushing her ego. You must burn the pedestal, because every time you replay fantasy, you give her power, you validate her, you keep her inflated in your mind, and if you keep seeing her, as special as someone you lost shoe-ins. A stoic man sees things for what they are, not what he wishes they were. Oh, I've got to let go of that image of been worshipping that fantasy as CIR cage, and when you finally look at her without the filter of emotion, you'll see the flaws. You ignored the patterns. You excused the red flags. You repainted white. She wasn't your soulmate. She was an teacher, and the lesson: stop loving potential. Stop romanticizing chaos. Start respecting yourself more than your attachment. Burn the illusion. And in Thesias, you'll find the truth. She didn't break your heart, she exposed where Yahoo had no boundaries to become unreachable. Bumber to become unreachable. No contact is basic. It's Theber. Minimum any man can disappear physically. Block her, mute her walk. Oh wait, that's not power, that's default. If you want to truly crush her ego, you need to go deeper. You need to become unreachable, not just to her fingers, but to her influence. That means no emotional leaks, no Instagram stories posted for her, no quotes designed to sting, no subtle messages, begging her to notice the new you. Because here's the truth. If she knows you still care, she still controls you. If she can still trigger you with silence, a cryptic post, or her name showing up in your notifications, she's winning, and a stoic man does not play Talos to become unreachable. You have to stop reacting and start mastering detachment. This isn't about acting cold, it's about being in control. You don't check her socials, you don't ask mutual show she's doing, you don't let her live in tree in your thoughts. You reclaim your inner fortress, because that's watches trying to breach, not your phone it, your house, your peace. Half men understand this. Women who are Useto attention, hate indifference. Grave. A reaction, even a negative one, but silence, paired with zero emotional reaside, that's torment. That's when the what-ifs creep in. That's when the ego shatters, not when you disappear, but when you vanish from caring. Unreachable Minchi doesn't know what you're feeling, thinking, or planning, and that Mr. Ithates magnetic. You become the unknown. You become the unknown. Question mark in her head keeps her awake, and when she can't predict, she starts to panic. She starts to wonder if she really had the impact. She thought. That's when Thebelin shifts. That's when you 3. Master the void rise. Number 3. Master the void mostman. Fear the silence, they treat it like Hia. Waiting room, something to endure, until she reaches out, until she regrets. Until she returns. But that mindset, that's weakness disguised as patience if Yawent. To flip the script, you don't serve the silence, you master it, you turn the void into your domain, a stoic dancent, run from emptiness, he owns, ether's the secret. The void is where a transformation begins, not in the Trosnat, in the arguments, not in the fake closure. It's in the silence where there's no distraction, no dopamine, no validation, that you meet your real self. Part of you that's still bleeding, part of you that needs rebuilding. A part she never truly understood in thoughts where the power lies because while she's out trying to distract herself, chase attention, or pretend. She's unfessed, you're going deep, you're stacking discipline, you're becoming sharper, colder, more focused. You're turning silence into your gym, your temple, your battlefield. The man who sits comfortably with nothing, no validation, no affection, no noise is the man hope comes, everything mastering the void man's. You stop obsessing over when she'll notice and start obsessing over what you're becoming. It means you detachnet. Just from her, but from needing Ganyan to complete you. You start to move differently. You speak less. You observe more. You build in silence so loudly that when the world finally sees you again, they have no idea how you became this version, and she will. Feel it not through a text, not through a post, but through a post of absence of your weakness, through a shift in energy. When you're no longer searching for her in the silence, be testing that silence to evolve. Number 4. The mirror effect. Mirror effect. You don't crush her ego by explaining yourself. You do it by becoming a mirror, one she can't avoid on, that reflects every choice she made back at her with brutal clarity. Most men try to gain closure. They write long messages, pour their soul out trying to make her understand, but that's not power, that's surrender. That's you begging for validation, and that's exactly what fed your ego. You want to shake her world. Say nothing, let the silence speak, let the consequences echo. When you stop chasing and start reflecting her energy back, something shifts, she's forced to confront herself. The attention shethrived, ungone the drama she used, toe control. You dead, and now all that's left is the choices she made, and you're cold calculated. Absence, staring her in Thefos. This is the mirror effect. You stop reacting, and you start becoming the consequence, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You give her nothing torg, with nothing to twist, nothing to blame, just her own decisions. Staring back at her, and the growing awareness that flossed a man who changed Bakuzov. Her not for her, that's when the self-doubt creeps in. That's when her confidence starts to fracture. Bakuza, deep down, she expected you to fold, toe-beg to wait, and when you don't, when you evolve in total silence, detached from needing her to notice, that's when she feels it regret. Curiosity, insecurity, and the best part, you didn't force it or murder it. You gave her nothing but her reflection, and that's what she can't. 5. Withdraw all validation. Handle number 5. Withdraw all validation. Ego feeds on attention. It serves off praise reactions. Jealousy, sign that you still care. That's why even after she leaves, she might still bit a like here, a random story view. A just checking in text, don't take the bait. This isn't affection, it's ego maintenance. She's not asking, do you still love me? She's asking, do I still have control? Here's where most men lose. They validate her, even in silence, they post thirst traps. Hoping she'll see, over-explain. Why they're done, they throw subtle shade, thinking it'll sting, but every move like that is proof that still matters. You want to crush her ego? Kill the supply, withdraw. All validation, not with anger, with indifference. A stoic man understands had attention is currency, every like, every glance. Every emotional reaction is payment, and she's already overdrawn. You'd know her closure. You don't know here your glow-up announcement, your silence and success are self-sufficient. You didn't post to prove a point, you move like a man whose time is too valuable. To waste on reminders, this is where her ego starts to starve when she realizes your growth isn't a show, it's reality, and she's not in the audience. You're not reading to spark jealousy. You're simply done handing out your energy like free samples she wanted distance. Give her a decoded vacuum of being forgotten and thaw deeper. You go into that quiet power theme or her ego fractures. Because what's worse than anger or irrelevance when chassis that you don't even care if she's watching, that's when it hits. Her she's no longer the center of your universes, not even a name you say out loud. 6. Transmute the pain into power number. 6. Transmute the pain into power. This pain you're carrying, it's not a curse, it's raw material, and you've got choices. Let it rot you from thine side. Or melt it down and forge something unbreakable. A lot of men sit in the wreckage replaying the betrayal asking, why me? But a stoic doesn't ask qui, he asks, what now? You want to crush her ego, turn the pain she caused in taith? Catalyst for the man you were meant to become. The most dangerous man is Theon, who turns heartbreak into obsession out with her. But with self-mastery, gimbusness, focus, solitude, you dive into her grind with a fire. She lit but shadowsent get the credit, she gets the essence, and the man who comes out the other side, he's colder, sharper. Scare your best now, he doesn't love out of need, loves out of choice. Transmutation is about making her realize that she didn't break. She built you not because Shetred too, but because you refused to let pain win. You took every insult, every levery. Silent treatment, and you used it to lift it heavier. You moved smarter, you caught distractions, and suddenly, Shedison just regret what she did. Sharegar, it's underestimating. You, this is deeper than glow-up energy. This ice-elemental, you become a force of Naturcom, grounded, purpose-driven. The kind of men she can't reach. It's anymore not because he leveled up, but because he leveled up to a plane where she no longer fits. 7. Become the man she can't replace no more. 7. Become the man she can't replace. Here's the brutal truth. Most breakups don't hit her right away. She walks out thinking there's better, thinking you're just another name she'll forget, thinking she can replace. You like changing outfits? That's where you makeor. Move not with words, but with transformation. You want to crush her ego, become the man she can't replace no matter who she tries to run to next. That doesn't mean flaunting money or chasing status, just to get back at her. That's wake energy. This is about becoming soul-centered. So high value, so locked into her purpose, that the energy you radiate becomes elical. You become the man who commands respect without saying a word, one who doesn't flinch. Under pressure, the one who carries peace, like you a weapon and discipline. Like armor, think about it. How many men dosh know who don't fold under emotion woe? Don't chase after validation, worn addicted to attention or ego strokes. Very few, and that's your edge while she's cycling through guys who will offer the same recycled energy. Yub, come something different, rear untouchable. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the man you always had the potential to be without her. She was the storm that pushed you into focus, and now when she scrolls, when she hears your name, when she's your growth, it hits. Her didn't just lose a boyfriend, she lost a ensign, a lifetime presence. What do you keep moving you don't glow to? Don't post cryptic shots trying to bait her. You just live so fully, so freely, that your absence becomes heavier thon.
Ow.
Your presence ever was number 88. Build a new identity in shadow. Build a new identity in shadow. You don't evolve in public. You rebuild in the dark, quietly, relentlessly, without applause of thoughts, where real transformation happens. Not on the timeline, but in the shadows. When no one's watching, and you've got nothing left, Toprov. If you want to crush her ego, stop trying to be seen and start becoming Somion. Worth missing. This is where Mosman fail. They want her to notice Thegrind. They want her to feel the regretin. Real time, so they post updates, try to signal the change, beg for her. Tension without realizing it, but that's not strength. That's still performing and performance. It's a weakness. You don't need her to see you improve. You need to become so improved, so complete it fernt, that the next time she hears her name, it doesn't even sound like the Mon. She left his stoic builds in silence best. He's not driven by revenge. He's driven by rebirth. You cut distractions. You build a new system. You become a disciplined in your sleep. Your healthier focus, your vision, and you do it without needing praise. Because once your identity is rooted in who you are, not woo. You're trying to impress, you become unchickle. And here's the irony, when you stop trying to be seen, that's when they start. Noticing, she sensed the shift not through your posts, but through your solence, through the way it's alls talk about you, through the glow that only comes from solitude and evolution shouldn't recognize you. And that's the point. This isn't just revenge. This is resurrection, and she's not invited. Tuth, 2nd chapter, number 9, letter 9. Let her watch from afar. Watch from afar, you don't need to block her. Don't need to hide. Let her watch from a distance she can't cross, that's where. The real sting is, you're not buying petty. You're being calculated, you've built, you've detached, you've become unreachable. And now she gets to sit outside of your new life, knowing she doesn't belong in it anymore. Understand this. People crave what they can no longer control when you were accessibly. She took your presence for granted, but no, she has to witness what she walked away from, and that's where her ego begins to eat itself, not because you said anything, not because you tried to make her jealous, but because you becameth man. She thought you never would. Theon, who doesn't need her validation. Tothriv. The key is subtlety. You don't flaunt. You don't thirst trap. You don't direct anything at her. You don't move in strength. Post that project. You don't snat. The gym selfie screaming for hairy action. Share your mindset, your peace, your progress. Not to flex, but to lead Becca's. Now, you're living for your mission. Not her memory. She will see it, maybe not today, maybe not next week. Butch will scroll, she will hear, she will wander, and when she does, the silence will hit different, not because you're gone, but because she can see what you've become, and she knows she's no longer part of that evolution. And you don't chase, you don't reach out, you don't react, you stay steady in your lane while her ego unravels in the rear view. That's how you win without saying 10. Forgive for power, not Pessia. Single word number 10, forgive for power, not peace. Forgiveness is in weakness. It's not letting her off the hook. It's not pretending what she didn't cut deep. Forgiveness is the final flex. It's you saying you no longer have his power to affect me, and that right there is the death blow to her ego, because nothing shatters someone who expected to be hated more than being genuinely unbothered. But here's the truth. You don't forgive her for her, yo forgive so you can let go of the weight, anger, the questions, the cycle's bows. If you keep holding on to resentment, you're still chained to her, and that's exactly what her ego wants for you, to stay stuck in that loop of bitterness, obsession, and pain. A stoic man chooses to forgive, not because it's easy, but because he refuses to let yon rent space in his mind. Without paying, you don't forgive. And then reach out. You don't forgive and look for closure. You forgive and move quietless, trying line allay. She expected a grudge, expected backlash. She expected you to hate her forever, but when you hit her with grace, when you show that you're a don not out of spite, but out of evolution, that's when she feels thoughts. When the regret hits like a punch never saw coming. This is the full circle, the final frame. You're not bitter, you're better, and now she's not only out of your life, she's out of your head. That's what true detachment looks like. That's what real healing is. You rise not for revenge, not for applause, but because you decided no one gets to break you out. Why you made it to the end. And that alone, he says something. You're not here. Taulo. You're not here to chase Yura. Here to rise, to rebuild, to become. This wasn't about her. It never really was. It was about you remembering who the Healy you are when the noise fades and the masks fall. You thought no contact. Suno. Now you know better now. You know becoming untouchable is the real move, so let her wonder, let her scroll, let her drone in the silence. You command whilst plays games. You play chess while she seeks validation. You seek meaning, and while she looks back, you look forward. This isn't about revenge. It's about her being that vulnerable again. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to be chosen because he's already chosen himself. This is your own, built on silence, focus, and unshakable self-respect. Carry it with discipline, speak it with action, and never again let anyone confuse success with value. You're not bitter, you're not broken, you're reborn. If you felt that, if you're ready to keep rising, Hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic. Blessing turn on notifications and comment bellowy rise with silence and power on remember. She didn't lose you when she walked away. She lost you when you never looked.